No more barking, dogs. Stop it. So, one day, temporary reprieve from that awesome, awesome reindeer section song, You Are My Joy. Only because I'm recording this on a new computer, and I forgot to put that on there for this morning. It only has like 4 songs on it. It is a new to us computer, and an enormous blessing, enormous answer to prayer. We've been praying for a second computer, not having the means financially on our own to purchase one. So we've just been praying for us to be given one that would run Final Cut, because we do a lot of cutting, and that's kind of the main problem. Archie does a lot of blogging and cutting, and I cut a lot. So sharing one computer has been nigh on impossible and a big strain on our relationship. And I think a source of tears at least 3 or 4 times. And we got a call last week from our friends the Propts, Matt and Joanna, saying they were getting rid of their G4 to upgrade. He's like a for real editor. Like that's his day gig. And so I assume they just needed a faster computer. It was time. And so we got their G4, which is so unbelievably perfect. And it already has Final Cut on it, and I'm recording this on it, and enormous blessing, if a very small one. So let's talk about big ones. Let's finish this grand narrative arc, shall we? Although it continues to this day. But, hello, sorry, get used to this new angle. So yeah, ended basically right moving into the New Testament. So God has already established his covenant with a covenant people. He's like, I'm going to pick this small and beleaguered group of individuals to share my nature with and to glorify and multiply throughout the earth as a symbol of my glory, or as a symbol of my power, which will lead to praise and glory in my name. Not only power, but grace too is huge in there, and grace becomes even huger in the New Testament as he fulfills that covenant and then extends that covenant out past those people to all people, and suggests that it may have always kind of been that way, but he's revealing the truth of that, and then covers iniquity, that which always raised his ire, was that all that selfishness and turning to self and worshiping what you want to worship and doing what you want to do and blah 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 blah, even amongst the people he'd revealed himself to. And that, in a way, did not spoke in a way it almost spoke against his glory, that they would be so feckless despite all his blessings. So he offers his son, he offers Christ, he offers himself in a way as a sacrifice to cover those blemishes, that his glory might not only be maintained but be multiplied really by this gracious act that will then show his praise over the face of this whole earth that he created, that you could spend your entire lifetime just praising what was in your block. But God does stuff big. He's a big man. He does it big style. From the words of Christ himself, this is Jesus praying at the end of his, talking about his ministry, says, John 7:18, the one who speaks on his own authority seeks his own glory, but the one who seeks the glory of him who sent him is true, and in him there is no falsehood. And he said at the end of his life, he was like praying before he was going to be killed, now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? But for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven. How cool would that be? I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again. And he prays at the end of his life, I glorified you on earth, having accomplished the work that you gave me to do. And what he came to do was to quote Romans 3:25, to show God's righteousness, because in his divine forbearance he has passed over former sins. So this is the climax of the grand narrative arc. That God has revealed himself to a people, and now God has revealed himself in corporeal form as a sacrifice, Not in the way that, again, he didn't write the story the way anyone would have figured it. You know? Well, he's God, okay? So then all of a sudden, a healing wind comes through. That's it, kiss. Oh my gosh.
We are in the middle of the narrative.
Love you. Not in the way that anyone, I think, would think of it. Yeah, that he snaps his fingers, everything's la la la. But no, but iniquity and sin and the darkness within us and our stubborn desire to destroy ourselves and to seek paltry pleasure. You know, we're created for joy and happiness. That's what he made us for. He meant us to glory in his glory. And that is everlasting, monumental, righteous truth and beauty and support and servanthood and grace and mercy and just love and compassion and speaking truth. You know? And yet we always want to fill it up with something less, you know? We're always like, no, but what about all this other stuff that's not as amazing, but it's what I want right now. It's what I want right now. No. Our purpose now, he put forth Christ to show us his righteousness and how far he was willing to go to call us to him, to call us into this same covenant, to be his people, to share in the joy of his glory, which has pleased him for all eternity, and he wants it to be our font of blessing, not only to ourselves, actually, that we might be filled with this happiness that never goes away, you know, a joy underneath all of our sorrow and heartbreak and joy, and, you know, regular joy, quotidian joy. Because, and why do we have this joy? Because 1 Corinthians 10:31, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. 2 Corinthians 4:6, for God who said, let light shine out of darkness, has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. And Matthew 5:16, this is Christ himself saying this, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works, 1, and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. In the fulfillment of this covenant, in this grand narrative arc, he has actually come and replaced our punishment, replaced our... he basically offers this covenant that he's always had, which is to be glorified in heaven and on earth. Maybe not in the way that we think of glory, but we are. Like he says, you know, that here on earth, it's almost like we're the envy of the angels, you know, that we are able to, that he came and gave for us that we might live in that glory, pursue that glory here and through all eternity. I wish I could explain to anybody who doesn't know what a blessing it is to be offered that. To be offered that, to remove all stain of self, which I've felt the sting of conscience many times, telling me where stains are. And I felt many times to be lost. But to have the compass of a righteous and loving God who's dragged us all through the narrative of human history to deliver himself as a sacrifice that we might experience glory and enter into a covenant relationship with the creator of all this awesome stuff. Pubescent galaxies and black holes and trees and leaves and earth and birds and tigers. Oh my. It's infinite. I feel kind of sick and my head hurts and my stomach hurts and I have bruises all over my body. And I've never been so joyful as when I focus on his glory. The pursuit of God's glory is an unrelenting, unending fountain of joy. And that's what we pursue till the end of this. Now we're heading towards the epilogue period. And we're all in it now. We're all in the grand design. So what's going to happen next? Well, heck, I don't know. I'm going to follow his glory until the kingdom comes. And who knows what happens then. Then it gets all Revelations-y and I don't know. That stuff gets nuts.